There's a question people ask when they find out what I do for a living. They lean in, eyes wide, like they're about to hear something profound. What's it like, they say, out there, at the edge? I tell them, mostly a lot of nothing, interrupted occasionally by something you really wish was nothing. Act 1, The Journey. My name is Declan Shaw. I fly a modified survey vessel called the Meridian Fault, which my mother called tempting fate, and which I called accurate advertising. For the past 11 years, I've made my living going to places other people file claims on and never actually visit. Checking the math. Making sure the rock is where the map says it is. It is not glamorous work. It pays well. And it keeps me a long way from anywhere with too many opinions about what I should be doing with my life. For anyone who's never looked at a solar system map, and I mean really looked, not the classroom version where everything is tidy and to scale. The Kuiper Belt is not where you think it is. It's not near anything. The nearest inner belt station to Earth is still a 6-month run on a fast ship. Boreas sits at the outer edge of even that. If something goes wrong at Boreas, the fastest help is 4 months behind you. That's not a complaint. That's a warning. The Meridian Fault was 3 weeks out of series when Boreas hailed us. Supply run. Medical rotation kit. Routine. Nothing about Boreas is ever entirely routine. The world I grew up in is not the world your grandparents knew. Earth's population dropped by 1/3 in 20 years. The institutions that were supposed to hold everything together turned out to be the ones quietly pulling it apart. We found that out the hard way. 1 billion people found it out the hardest way possible. What came out of that wasn't clean. But it was honest. The Continental Compact doesn't pretend to be a world government. Mars doesn't pretend to be Earth's satellite anymore. And the Belt doesn't pretend to be anything except what it is. The last place you go when everywhere else already has someone telling you what to do with your life. I grew up on Luna, Shackleton City. My father built ships in the Far Side yards. My mother argued contracts for the corporations that owned them. Between the two of them, they gave me a very complete education in how things actually work. I got my pilot's license at 17. I've been out here, more or less, ever since. Boreas appeared on our screens about 6 hours out. The hail came in right on schedule. Docking coordinates, bay assignment, Commander Vasquez signing off with her usual efficiency. Everything exactly as it should be. Which is the first thing I noticed was wrong. Act 2, The Mystery. Boreas Station runs 9 people on an 18-month rotation. 9 people in a pressurized can at the edge of the solar system. After enough supply runs, you get to know the rhythms of a crew like that from the first hail. The jokes, the specific kind of exhaustion that sounds different from regular tired. The way someone says Bay 3 when they mean, please bring coffee and someone new to talk to. Commander Elena Vasquez had none of that in her voice. She sounded like someone reading from a script they'd written very carefully. I counted 3 people in the bay. Should have been at least 5 for a supply offload. The 2 I could see were working fine. Efficient, practiced, but neither of them looked at me. Not once. People at Boreas are always glad to see a ship come in. Even supply ships. Even me. I've done enough survey work to know when people are sitting on something. The body language is the same whether it's a bad claim report or a crew conflict that's gone too far. A particular stillness. The stillness of people who've agreed, collectively, not to say the thing until they've worked out what the thing is. The only question was whether I was going to respect that. I was not. Act 3, The Ardennes. The pod belonged to the Ardennes, a survey vessel that departed Ceres Station in 2063. Lost contact 8 months into its mission, officially listed as destroyed in a catastrophic drive failure. 42 years ago. The math doesn't work. Cryogenic suspension degrades past 60 years at the absolute outside limit. The pod's seal integrity, the cellular degradation models, the isotope traces on the exterior hull, everything pointed to the same window. This person went under sometime around 2063. The biometric readout on the pod was reading a pulse. Act 3, The Decision. I've seen things out here that didn't have easy explanations. clay markers on rocks that weren't there the week before, signals from coordinates that don't match any registered station. The belt has a way of being stranger than the maps. But I had never stood in a room and watched someone come back from 42 years of silence. The revival sequence takes 11 minutes. Lisa watches the monitors. Nobody speaks. Act 4, Doctor. His name, we would find out, was Dr. Harlan Cross, Chief Science Officer of the Ardennes. 42 years in suspension, alive, technically healthy, and asking about a signal that no one at Boreas had ever heard. A signal that no registered station in 42 years had ever reported. I filed the drive malfunction report. I stayed my 72 hours. And when I left Boreas Station, with Dr. Cross aboard, at Vasquez's request, and very much against my better judgment, I sent one message ahead. Not to the SDC, not to any corporation. To the one person I trusted to know what a signal meant. I'm still waiting for her to reply. My name is Declan Shaw, and I used to think the most unsettling thing about the belt was the silence. I'm not sure I think that anymore. If you want to know what the signal was, and why no one has heard it in 42 years, subscribe. Episode 2 drops in 1 week. Soul's Edge. The frontier is closer than you think.